Hi, this is Professor Earth, and I want to talk to you about the beginnings of global warming. I don't mean when the planet began to warm. I mean when the idea of global warming was first created, when the concept of global warming was discovered. And this happened about 50 years ago. And it happened when a man named Wally Broecker first used the word global warming in a scientific paper. Now, it turns out I knew Wally Broecker. He's passed now, but he was my professor of geochemistry at Columbia University about 50 years ago. So I knew Wally, and it was about the same time that he was coming up with the idea of global warming. Now, Wally studied ocean sediments. He worked at the Lamont Doherty Geological Observatory, part of Columbia University, and I was at Columbia College, part of Columbia University, and he taught my geochemistry class along with a lot of other people. Brilliant man, world-class scientist. And what Wally Broecker suggested was that adding CO2 to the atmosphere, putting CO2 up there in the sky, that this would change the amount of energy that the Earth would retain from the sun. Solar energy would come in, get trapped in the atmosphere, we've all heard this story, and it would gradually heat up the planet. And that was the key thing in Wally Broecker's definition. He said global warming is going to happen. He's the first to predict this, and he said it will be a very slow, gradual warming of the planet, global warming. Well, here we are, we're 50 years down the road, and what we have now is something a little bit different. Because sure, we've got what Wally Broecker called global warming, the very gradual, slow. In fact, it's so slow that some people actually deny it's happening. People like our next president, President Trump, say they don't believe in global warming. They don't believe in climate change because it's so slow, it's almost imperceptible. But wait a minute, something else is going on. We just don't have this slow, gradual warming from the CO2 building up in the atmosphere. We have something worse going on. What we have going on is climate enshittification. The climate and all aspects of it are getting worse. Now, the word enshittification was coined to refer to things on the internet. You'd sign up for something or you'd join some website, and over time, they'd charge you more or change the rules. It would get worse. So that's where the term was originally applied. But more recently, it's been applied to other things, and I want to apply it to the climate because it's very dramatic. When you say something is getting worse, when enshittification is happening to make it a lot worse, well, you know what the hell that means. When you say global warming or climate change, okay, it doesn't necessarily seem that bad. I'm outside now near my home in Alaska, and if it got a little bit warmer, well, that would be okay. That wouldn't be so bad. And people feel like that all around the planet. Wouldn't be so bad. But in fact, what's happening is not just the gradual warming, but all the knock-on effects from the warming that are affecting other parts of the climate. Things like heat waves, things like forest fires, things like die-offs of the Great Barrier Reef, things like more powerful and more frequent hurricanes and tornadoes and derechos, things like droughts, things like crop failure, which is going to be a big one. I'll tell you, if we start losing crops, we're in big trouble. So this is what climate enshittification is. And this is, I think, a much more powerful word to talk about climate change than saying global warming. Now, Wally Broecker, as I said, I knew him, and I think Wally would agree with me. Now, he wrote his original paper where he defined global warming, and he said it's a slow, gradual warming, almost imperceptible unless you're looking at the instruments very carefully. Sure, well, that's what was happening 50 years ago. But Wally Broecker also said something else. Wally Broecker said, the climate is an angry beast, and we're poking it with a stick. So Wally Broecker, even 50 years ago, knew that we're playing with fire when we start messing with the climate. We're at risk of really bad things happening. We're at risk of climate enshittification. In fact, we are there. We're having climate enshittification right now. And it's a big problem, and I'm here to talk about it. Okay, have a wonderful day. Take care, bye-bye.